fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, taking a look at another officer, because one of the things that we do so often in this channel is go over officers for Star Trek Fleet Command. And today we're going to be talking about Cath, the new hostile grinding officer, part of the Ferengi getup, which I find fantastic. And here she is here in the background. Now you can see that I currently have her at tier 2. However, even at tier 1, she could be useful. Now, the biggest thing for these cards, whether it be Cath or another officer, is obviously going to be getting them to a higher tier. And you know, with her being rare, that means it's probably going to take some players longer to get there. And the players who are probably immediately going to love Cath are the new players in the game. Those on like server 81, 77, 78, 80, 76. Shout out to those. Been hanging out with them a lot lately. So shout out to them. It's going to be an important officer for them. But what I want to do is talk about the abilities as we normally do, and then also compare to Talon, who, well, she's basically replacing, at least at some point, depending on who you are. And we'll also talk about some crew combinations, and then also, finally, where this applies to you in the game and how to actually use her. So the first thing, let's go over the abilities. Rely on Nobody, Captain's ability. I'll be honest, I don't think anybody here really cares about the Captain's ability. If you do, let me know in the comment section. I mean, if we're just being completely honest, the Captain's ability here doesn't really matter. Repair cost efficiency on the ship. We're all here for the officer ability, and that is this one right here. Show them what you can do. Now remember, mine is tier 2. We'll put the full stats on the screen in just a second. If the opponent is a hostile, which is a red hostile, it only works on reds, not golds, not players. Decreases the damage done by its kinetic weapons by 15%. Works against hostiles of level 51 and under. Now, a couple of other notes real quick, especially for the newer crowd who are getting into this game with this type of card being available to you early on. Hostiles are reds. Kinetic damage is typically going to be found on things like interceptors. So Cath could be very, very valuable for you for fighting swarm hostiles, or going against, interceptors in deep space, or wherever you choose to grind. That's where the value can be. So let's go ahead and put up on the screen her stats right here. Bam. All right, so here's Cath, and then how she levels out. So you see at level 1, a 12% bonus, at level 2, a 15%, level 3, 18, level 4, 21, and level 5, 25%. So all those are very important. We'll talk about why in just a second when we go through the math. But this is going to give you the bonuses you need to make interceptors easier to grind against. And I think that's important because one of the things that we've been needing for a long time is more hostile grinding crews. And while she's still not a Chen replacement, what we use most often, when she's max, she will give us something very similar to Chen, just being used against another type of ship. Chen obviously does the damage reduction for energy weapons. Cath does the damage reduction for kinetic weapons. So let's compare her to Talon side by side. Here we go, both of them. Now, obviously, Talon is a common officer, so many of you have had her maxed out for a very long time. You can't even remember when you got her maxed out. It's been so long. I don't have anything else to add. It's just been a really freaking long time. So you can see her level is 5, 7, 10, 15, and then 20%. So obviously, side by side, Cath does more at each individual level as her ability gets better. Now, if you've got a max Talon already, which many of you who are watching this video probably do, that means that Cath will not pass her until tier 4. However, I don't think that means Cath is invaluable. It just means that there's a little bit of a grind involved there, but still can be used. We'll talk about that in a second. But obviously, side to side, a better officer. Now, for those wondering, well, she's a rare. Why does she only go to 25%? That has to deal with the math of the game. Essentially, you can't go past a certain point, or else, well, you'll essentially be negating all damage, and we'll talk about that here right now. Remove. Pull that out. So we're going to go take a look at this on a ship real quick. I'm going to give you an example of a Franklin. So on a Franklin, a typical crew you would run would be something like this: Picard, Beverly, Talon, Pike, Moreau, Talon, Cadet Uhura, Cadet McCoy, Talon. Well, now you can talk about swapping this out for Cath. But I want to really get into this one right here. This little spreadsheet. Now, this was posted in DJ's Discord, and I don't remember who made it. So apologies to whoever made it. You didn't write, your name anywhere. So we like to give credit where it's due because there's a fantastic community out here who creates things like this. But anyway, what you see on the screen is simply different crews. And if you're not familiar with these letterings and these various ones, then I will explain them. So PMT stands for Pike, Moreau, Talon, which is just our generic top of the line hostile group for interceptors. A PCT would be doing Pike, Chen, Talon. And then you can also keep in mind that Picard, Beverly, so PBC is the exact same. So Pike, Moreau, Picard, Beverly are the exact same thing. I've got a video about that. If you haven't checked out that video, I would encourage you to, explaining how that kind of works, because it can feel a little confusing. So right now, let's start with the base. So when we say base, there is a research that does damage reduction against hostiles. Then we've got Pike doing our 2.2, which is simply the multiplier there. On Talon, there you go. There's the math. 74 damage reduction. Now, the easiest way to compare here is if you go to the very, very bottom, see this one right here, PMC T5. So that's what Pike, Moreau, Chen does at tier 5. So a maxed out Chen, far right of your screen, reduces 96% of damage. Impressive. 96% of damage. Now, you are probably wondering, how good can Cath be? Well, great answer is right above. Pike, Moreau, Cath could do 85% damage reduction. And if you notice at the very top of this little graph, PMT, which is Talon, is 74. So Cath by herself is doing an 11% improvement. Now here's the big question for a lot of people, or the answer for a lot of people. Why did they make Cath better or to match Chen? You can go to PCT tier 5 to see why. See PCT tier 5. So that's running Pike, Cath, and Talon. So 2 anti-kinetic officers. That reduces damage by 93%. So it's actually better to run them both maxed for pure damage reduction. Now here's the drawback to this strategy. If you run Pike, Cath, Talon, you're losing your max mitigation bonus that you get with Moreau. So you will reduce the damage of a hostile. However, you will not keep the mitigation unless you just happen to have, like a Franklin that, thanks to research, already has ridiculously high mitigation. So this could give you another crew for swarm grinding. But how useful could it be for grinding out regular hostiles? Still not as much as Chen. At the end of the day, Cath and kinetic-based anti-hostile officers are not as good as what Chen is. And to be completely fair, if Scopely could go back in time and not make Chen as strong as she is, they wouldn't have. I'm glad they can't do that. We are very thankful that Chen is as strong as she is, because it makes the grinding process easier. Rep grinding, hostile grinding, whatever it is that you're trying to do that day, even if you're doing it to go out and get PvE boxes, it's helpful thanks to Pike, Moreau, Chen, the best hostile grinding group in the game. Or you can use this version. But if you want to see Pike, Moreau, Chen, hey, look, I've got it right here. Because guess what? Like most people, I am now running 2 ships for hostile grinding. Now, if you've only got like 3 or 4 docks, that can be very, very annoying and very tedious. But I run 2. Here's my ISS Jellyfish with my Pike, Moreau, Chen. And then, well, my Franklin running Picard, Beverly, Talon, which eventually will be Picard, Beverly, Cath. Because an 85% reduction in damage is certainly better than a 74% reduction in damage. And I'll have the mitigation behind that. So what we're seeing here is an improvement in hostile grinding. Is it game breaking? No, because it's not Chen, sadly. However, you still can get a remarkable amount of success by running this loadout. And I think that what you're going to see is hopefully feedback from you, the players, which down below in the comment box, like that. See this comment box? That's what this is for. And down below, you can let them know your thoughts and let me know your thoughts, because I still am going to fight for another Chen, even if I get a Chen variant that's weaker than frickin' Talon. What I don't understand, why can't they just make it to where you can't use them together? Yeah, just make it to where, like, if you use one, you can't use the other. I don't know. They could figure it out. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying it wouldn't be difficult. I'm not saying it would be hard. But find a way. Because I don't want to run them at the same time. I don't really want to run Pike, Chen, alternate Chen. I don't really want to run Pike, Talon, Cath. I want to run Pike, Moreau, because I want the mitigation to be maxed, and then that hostile officer. So I don't know. Either way, I am appreciative for Cath being introduced to the game because at the end of the day, it is an improvement. And at the end of the day, this is better. Go ahead and Talon. Now, how long will it take to max? I don't know. Also, officer sourcing. Can we please go ahead because of the importance of this officer? Can we please put this into some type of sourcing now, today, whenever you see this video, Scopely? Because you do watch these videos. You're gluttons for punishment. You're a bunch of misogynists when it comes to YouTube because we all say mean things to you. And I'm not sorry. It needs to be said. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and it helped you, like it by punching the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit that little bell. Get notified of every time I go live and every time I make a video here on YouTube, which, well, coming soon will not just be Star Trek Fleet Command, but all kinds of Star Trek and nerdy content per your request, which also means, well, let me know what type of request that is. Y'all are amazing. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. I'll catch you in the next video. And I guess it's appropriate before this video, I end it with Cath being an actual officer on a ship. So there you go. Now she's on my Franklin. Will I go use that in my grind soon? Maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.